Hi everyone, this is my new Bandcamp Top 5. Here I discuss 5 new albums that I've discovered on Bandcamp and share them with you. We are so focused on the same bands, labeling them as either geniuses or untalented, that we forget about the best world around us – deep, experimental and incredibly musical. Instead of declaring someone the best band in music history, I invite you to dig deeper and discover new artists. I don't rank the albums by quality, so this is not a rating, but a collection. The album by Big with an unpronounceable title that you see on the screen is a real find in the post-rock genre. Here you won't hear riffs that imitate anyone. I remember the time when I first discovered mastodons like Joy Division or The Cure and felt chills from that sense of primal discovery. The same thing happened with this album. It's hard to single out a particular song. This is a strong and diverse album that will have a place in my heart. I love it when a musical album paints a dark and gloomy mood with enveloping sounds of ringing synthesizers, dense, distinct bass and crying guitars. Mixed with the depressive vocals and shamanic drum rhythm, this album puts me in a trance every time. I would like to note separately that this music should ideally be listened to as an album, not as individual songs. The album is crowned with a beautiful cover dedicated to the band's passed away dog, Alfie.
And God said unto Jacob, yes it did.
Message to Our Folks is a remastered album by the Art Ensemble of Chicago, released in 1969. This could be your starting point if you're unfamiliar with avant-garde jazz. The use of non-musical objects, ethnic instruments and unconventional playing techniques makes this album rich in musical solutions. It's something that can be described as controlled chaos. Vocal shouts are combined with elements of free jazz and classical music. The most attractive part of this record is the improvisational style in which it is recorded. The true highlight of the tracks is the atonal bursts of trumpet and saxophone with crazy vocal effects. This album manages to be both wild and musically appealing. Bass instruments and percussion parts play a crucial role, holding everything together and stitching it into a complex rhythmic structure. The Art Ensemble of Chicago emerged from the collision of free jazz and radical theater in the US in the late 60s. However, the group truly felt free after moving to Paris. This album instantly influenced my approach into making music. Don't be afraid to experiment, because beauty arises from chaos. I live 2 hours away from the sea, and now every time I get on the bus for this trip, I play Aden Beach Club. This album literally represents a relaxing sunny day on the beach. It is as beautiful as music can possibly be. Usually jazz fusion doesn't captivate me, but I fell in love with this album instantly just hearing this part. The album combines elements of astral jazz, soul and electronic music, but I feel that terminology should be set aside here. This album can only be described as lush, full of love, tearfully happy, sunny and French. Laurent Bardin and Tigre Doudous is a French group. Their music, including the album Aden Beach Club, is rooted in the rich jazz tradition of France, and you can hear it in every song. When I listen to the songs from this album, I want to hug them and dissolve into this vibe. That's how good it feels inside this musical reality. I love ambient music. I often compose it myself and listen to a lot of it. There is a fine line between a seamless, relaxing soundscape and a rich musical work. Aden has created a sunbeam. This beam reflects light on the wall of your bedroom through drawn curtains. This beam helps a tiny sprout grow into a big tree. You can't touch it because it's very, very fragile. Looking at it makes you want to cry from emotion. Ambient music is always about textures and atmosphere. It is minimalist, similar to nature, and therefore filled with natural motifs. On the cover of the album Straylight, we see a small walking tree sprout with a curved trunk and several branching leaves. The clean and minimalist design highlights the tenderness of the music performed. Each melody touches on the depth of growth and transformation of something small into something global. It is organic and fluid. It's good for falling asleep, reflecting and calming down. As the musician, I'll propose my mini-album as a fifth entry, Figure of Hope. I didn't plan this album at all, it came out of the blue from my weekend jam sessions. I'm no guitar master, so the tunes are pretty simple, but sometimes it's the simple things that hit the nail on the head, isn't it? For the past 10 years, I haven't been able to contain the music that comes out of me within one genre. I used to worry a lot about this, but now I've decided it's not worth it. A chiptune album changed to psychedelic rock, and psychedelic rock changed to ambient. What comes out between these sessions turns into a figure of hope. Finally, don't hesitate to suggest your music to me. I've left a link to my email in the description. Also, there are links to the albums mentioned today. Thank you for watching and listening, it means a lot to me, as does your support of independent musician, of course. Until next time.